Oh, nice. The bank definitely ain't gonna be happy about this one. Alright guys, so today we have a few things we're going to replace. We're going to be replacing bearing races up there. We're going to be swapping out our old radiator for a new one. And we also are going to be putting in our fuel pump and our power steering pump into the car. So let's get into it. So basically this old radiator was bad. This one used a mounting system that had a hole drilled and riveted on each side and is set inside of that mount. This new radiator deletes that system and just gets riveted right into these sides, which is already welded onto the radiator. So hopefully it'll save a little bit of weight and make mounting and dismounting a little bit quicker when doing engine changes and stuff of that nature. Now the only problem is, of course, you pay all this money for a radiator, they don't give you the springs or the rivets. I had some rivets over here I was going to use, but they are too thick for the radiator, but not for the spring that we have on hand. I do have some thinner ones that'll fit through the radiator. These will fit through the radiator up here, but they might not be big enough for the springs. We'll see. I want to do this stuff before drilling in the radiator, because at that point there's really no going back. As you guys can see, that first rivet, that little black one, was too small indeed. So we are going with plan B, which is those and these springs. Hopefully it all works out, but first we got to remove that and then slightly drill all these holes a little bit bigger. Might have to go up one more drill size, but we'll start with this. Hey, not bad for one hand today. All right, we'll go up one more drill size, more than likely, because I have a feeling this still won't fit in there. Oh, actually, look at that. Just need reamed out a little bit. So go ahead and we'll pop this broken rivet off and drill all these out.
Turn me up 4 a.m. Got my mind set on them bills, and I can show you no emotion. Ain't too much to talk about it, that's just how I feel. Feel like the hottest in my city, ain't nobody fucking with me. I just gotta keep it real. Real deal, gotta keep it real. Real spill, I been in the field. I gotta get this shit in motion, I ain't playing. I'm devoted to this game and I can't chill. We gotta move together, wherever to whenever. I keep it hot until they ice me out, I'm cool whatever. I'm putting through the effort, man, I've been focused every time. I got a new vendetta, plotting every new endeavor. Yeah, and maybe I get to this money every day. I can't change, I'm fixated on that cake, it's perfect timing. Yeah, and I don't ever make mistakes, I don't play around with that paper. Bitch, I'm always here on mining. Couple blues, another day where I ain't playing by the rules. I just gotta play it cool, not for you. It's all for me, man, I'm just doing what I do. Got my mind set on them bills, and I can show you no emotion. Ain't too much to talk about it, that's just how I feel. Feel like the hottest in my city, ain't nobody fucking with me. I just gotta keep it real. Real deal, gotta keep it real. Real spill, I been in the field. I gotta get this shit in motion, I ain't playing. I'm devoted to this game and I can't chill.
We're gonna go get it mounted in the car. My guess is I'm gonna have to use a little longer Zeus screws than I had to use with the other setup because they were real short, but we'll see. Let's go put it in the car. So the shorter Zeus tabs actually worked out really nice, and they're super tight on there. So it makes me feel a little more secure that this thing's not going to go anywhere, which I have a hard time believing it will. We're gonna get this cover for now until I get the radiator cap that I want. We're gonna get a similar radiator cap to what I ran on the 600 that also has a temperature gauge on it. Really nice cap, stands a lot of pressure, looks good on there. Next thing is gonna be to get the fittings in, get our down hose hooked up. But I really like the look of this, and I like that I went with this hole closer to the radiator. Gives it more of a straight up and down look in the car, and it is adjustable to lean forward a little bit if I do decide to rivet in a new spring and go to that forward hole, which I don't see myself doing right now. Not entirely positive what the benefit of that will be, but it is there if I need it. All of our hoses are already cut to what I'm assuming it was this radiator or something similar in the car this engine came out of. The radiator that we do have in the other options, I would have had to bring all these over here in the middle. Don't like the looks of that. Don't like it going over the belt right there. If that was to snap, maybe come off her to hose. And also, don't like that I'd have to undo all this nice neatness. So get those caps screwed in over here. And these are just gonna mount right up. Also, I did a little bit of research while I was just inside eating dinner. And I believe that the front or innermost holes on the radiator allow it to sit back so air bubbles can come up better. Because people were talking about when it's straight up and down, jacking the front of the car up to get rid of air bubbles. I think by mounting it in that most front part and letting the radiator lean back, it gets rid of air bubbles better. Not sure, but we're going to leave it how it is for now. Anyway, we're going to get these on and I'm going to quit yapping. Now, all these fittings do have an O-ring right there, but we're still going to put a little bit of the PTFE pipe sealant on there, just to be safe, because aluminum on aluminum is like stainless on stainless. This stuff will absolutely just not corrode, but just stick itself together so freaking badly. So if anything, this pipe thread sealant is actually just going to make it easier on us when we go to remove it. And it's also a good thing to add just to help prevent leaks too. So let's get it on there. I am a horrible example for you two mechanics. I was sitting there wearing gloves on something you didn't even need to wear gloves on. And now that I'm actually messing with chemicals and pipe sealing, I don't have any on. So word to the wise, if you enjoy these videos, just enjoy them for personal use. Don't actually do what I do, because I don't do it right. I am just a backyard shade tree race car mechanic is all I am. Alright, all the threads are good. You guys wanted shade tree. I'm going to give you shade tree. How about a big ass 27mm socket and 1/2 inch ratchet to screw these aluminum fittings into an aluminum radiator? You wanted it, you got it, baby. I don't even know if this is the right size. I just know it fit over them. If this snaps, you try with me, y'all. It's about as tight as you'd ever want to get those things. Holy crap. Is to get this power steering mounted in the car. As you can see, we have to run a spacer on this one. So I did order some nice tie ones, but unfortunately they were too short. With this spacer on there, they're for a standard pump. These are the bolts that came out of it. I looked absolutely everywhere for these things all over town for new ones. Could not find them at Tractor Supply, Home Depot, Lowe's, Advance, anywhere. So I had to order them through Fastenal. They didn't have any in the store. And unfortunately, these bolts were only like, you know, $3 bucks a piece. But it was like 14 bucks for shipping because Fastenal only uses UPS, which really sucked. So I ended up paying like 30 bucks for 4 stinking bolts. So they better work. We're going to put a little bit of thread lock on here. Get this positioned in the car. Then we can take those 3 screws out and get the fuel pump mounted on there. Alright guys, so I actually got a little bit more luck. I totally forgot that I had gotten the radiator hose when I bought the engine. So for now, until I get a new one, that's where this one's gonna go and probably fire up the car for the first time. So I just gotta get these hose clamps tightened up. Here are the hubs we're dealing with. We got the Kaiser 3 spokes. We're running these because we're running a 305. Weight savings is everything, and these are a little bit lighter than the 5-spoke hubs. So these are the two that need the race. Flip them over here. The ones that came out were terrible, but they were slightly rusted. So we're just gonna go ahead and drop a new race in each one of them real quick. All right, looks like bearing's gonna fit in there. So we're gonna start off with a little general hammer. Just that on there. Alright guys, we're back. So ended up not being able to get it in with that socket all the way. So I had to buy a specialty tool to hammer in these races the rest of the way. But we do have 3 hubs ready to go now. The other hub for the car, and then the other 2 for our spare axles.
I need my wrist on richer, trying to touch a milli. I'm running round in circles, don't mean to make you dizzy. Pockets on Thriller, you are not my Billy. And I ain't not no Michael, you bitches looking silly like. I just wanna live like money ain't a thing. Throwing money in the air, baby, drinks on me. Not a care in the world, baby, gas on E. Yeah, you ain't gotta worry when the money ain't a thing. Yo, pop another addy, need to stay. Tell me why all these bitches